Hey everyone, JSD cool. Once again, and welcome back to another episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Once again, I've upgraded my armor and buffs and stuff, and I no longer die after jumping from the top of a building. In the last episode, I built this here ice farm to mostly just get a lot of ice that I don't have space for in my storage system, and I have used it a little bit since the last episode. Not much though, as I've been busy doing other stuff, and I have a fair amount of blue ice stored up here now. In between episodes, I also finally got myself upgraded to netherite armor and tools after JRD Cole took like 7 freaking years to get back to me about doing the stuff, but yeah, that was a pretty expensive upgrade, but I guess netherite is just kind of expensive these days. In this episode, I'm going to start by trying to find an allay that I can use as an item filter over by the raid farm, because yeah, 1.20.5 is going to come out this week. I don't know if we're not necessarily going to update right away, but I would like to actually increase my supply of totems without having to get out of the farm every 5 minutes to collect what totems have piled up. So yeah, I guess I'll try doing that now. There it is. There it is. That's what we came here for. There are, unfortunately, as you could expect, pillagers around. But I have brought this. And yeah, hopefully this will be a relatively smooth process. Before I actually... Ooh. That could be useful. The rest that's junk. Alright, you? Ooh. Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? That's a glitch. Anyhow. Up and away. Look at these balloons here. Anyhow, southward I fly to go back to the city. And then we got these guys we can install at the farm. Yay! Alright, I've got them back to downtown. That was a bit of a challenge. They did not like to go up and over terrain. I do have to now, however, get more of them, which requires a music disc. I do have a jukebox here. That'll require a music disc and also some amethyst. I don't have either of those currently, so I'm gonna have to go digging for it. Alright, I located some amethyst shards and a dungeon that had a music disc in it, so let's make one of these guys. And then let's go insert this guy into the farm. I have inserted the allay into place inside of the raid farm here. However, I did just realize that the output for this just straight up goes into these crafters for the emeralds, and I don't exactly think that we should be mixing totems in the crafters with emeralds. So I'm gonna have to make a separate storage system over here just for totems. And also actually get a totem to give this guy. Alright, here is the storage for totems. As you can see, I did go a little bit overboard putting in a ton of chests because, I mean, well, I want to make sure I have a good supply for the rest of the season here. Yeah, just simply redirects the hopper, removed all these droppers that were dropping here because they're really not necessary. It's only the emeralds that need to be dropped out. Yeah, now I guess I can go use this farm for a while and just collect all the totems down here. Anyhow, next up in this episode... this is an update here. 1.20.5 has in fact released, but we have not yet updated as I haven't got around to doing anything with mods. And mods are probably going to take a fuck ton of time to come out. Anyhow, next in this episode, I'm going to be building a Sculk sensor farm, as I have, in some live streams, gone around and created a fair amount of stock of basically everything else here in my redstone storage section, apart from Sculk sensors, which I haven't actually acquired any of yet. So I'm going to create a farm that definitely no one's ever created before to get a whole bunch of Sculk sensors. So yeah, I guess we need to hop into creative to design that. So this is my idea for what the farm will be right here. I will sit in a minecart slowly moving back and forth, mining these Sculk sensors that appear on the platform in front of me, because of course Sculk sensors don't only drop with Sculk Touch and also take a little while to mine with a hoe that has efficiency 5 on it. So we'll just be slowly moving back and forth right here in this slim area. I might bring them another block closer just in case. But then We also have the okay. If necessary, we also have the option to drop the minecart down in case for some reason we decided we wanted to collect the sculk that will be beneath the sensors instead of the actual sensors themselves. Speaking of which, I do actually need to make a collection system here for this. Alright, so the Sculk creation platform area is hopefully now in place. As you can see, we have a Sculk catalyst here to detect the dead mobs. We have lava up here to kill any drops or anything that does end up there. So we'll simply spawn it in because I'm planning on building this thing. I'm planning on building this thing in the end, like I said. Do I maybe need to go up farther to prevent them from teleporting away? It didn't spread anything. Why is this not spreading any Sculk? Please hold. Okay, so it has to be that they land on a block next to the cat. That's really weird. Anyhow, fire there to burn all the drops. Let's see if this still continues to spread. Alright, this is working. Something we do have to keep in mind though is all these veins that are gonna start appearing. Because, yeah, they will definitely cause a certain amount of issues. One way that we can at least prevent them from forming is with slabs, as they can only spawn on full blocks, and slabs are decidedly not that. So, now you can see that the Sculk spreads all the way down here, and I clearly did not spawn-proof that correctly. Ooh, we already have some Sculk sensors spawning up here, but the goal is that the Sculk come down here. Actually, they might not be able to get down here too easily if I do block it off too much. I'm not entirely sure. But then potential issue here is that these Sculk veins starts to be on top of these pistons here. Hence the lightning rods on top of them. Okay, they can break the Sculk veins. Okay, that's good. Anyhow, more Endermen. Better idea, just have all the skulking happen right where we're gonna mine stuff. It's gonna be the most efficient anyway, so yeah, Enderman will just fall and die here. We can probably put some more fire around the sensor here. Yeah, and then I'll just sit here mining stuff. Of course, I will have to, for the situation when we actually want to mine Sculk, put like a stone generator somewhere that we'll have to push in, which is why I gotta do stuff with these pistons that I've apparently not done too well here. But yeah, I guess the next step would be building an actual Enderman farm into this system. Alright, I decided to give up on the whole actually farming Sculk itself thing for now because I don't feel like that is necessary. So instead I've just installed what will eventually be a storage system that I guess I will design in survival, as that's not going to be all that hard. Now, I guess we move this to the end and add an Enderman farm to it? Alright, I'd say this is working quite well. Yes, I've moved into the end here and built this Enderman platform here. Now, something I think I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to try spawn-proofing this entire area down here in terms of Enderman. Like, I've already, you know, prevented Enderman from entering this area here with this ceiling and carpets on top to prevent Enderman from teleporting up there. Probably also need to do that around the rest of this. Yeah, there's probably a lot of spawn-proofing stuff for Enderman. I mean, it's not a big deal because we're not directly attacking the Enderman. And there really shouldn't be much of a place for them to spawn around here. And there's no real reason why they'd be teleporting out because, well, they spawn up there and then they just fall down. So as long as the bottom down here is mostly, I guess, spawn-proofed, we shouldn't have to worry about any Endermen being around here. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to really be able to fix that issue there all that much. I guess it's just a loss we're going to have to deal with for this farm. But yeah, this is the design mostly completed. So yeah, I guess we'll go and build this in survival now. Alright, I've collected most of the resources necessary to actually make the farm itself, apart from one, of course, the Sculk Catalyst, because I don't think I've gone into a deep dark at all this season. Which means I actually need to find one. Alright, I'm nearing a deep dark biome here. Hopefully this doesn't go too poorly. But, you know, there's only one way to find out, really. Nervous here. Hopefully... Oh, here we are. Okay. There's the blocks that we need, and there's some Sculk sensors. Hopefully there are no, shriekers around here, because those are what we really have to be worried about in terms of wardens. And there we go, we just safeguarded in that. Okay, this is the one that I think we're gonna go for right here, so we'll just... Is that me setting them off? How am I setting that off? Anyhow. And then we run, and then we run. Okay, great. Didn't spawn a warden and got the catalyst. Now I guess let's hop into a time lapse of me building this thing in the end. Alright, the farm construction has been completed pretty quickly on that. I haven't added in the Sculk sensor yet, as I don't want to make this place any louder or more annoying than it is. Oh. Well, that's a coincidental timing. Anyhow, next up is I actually need to build a storage system for this, as I kind of neglected to do that in the creative world, so yeah. Alright, here's the storage system, pretty simple, just like a block of chests. Anything that doesn't get sucked up goes overboard. And of course we have the minecart hopper here ready to go. So I guess now all that's left to do is plop in the catalyst and get this farm going. And so I guess I'll AFK at it for a while and we'll see what the results are. After AFKing here for a while and then realizing that my hoe could in fact break, so I probably shouldn't AFK here for too long in one session. Yes, I could say that, yeah, the amount of entities that this thing is killing is probably a bit overkill, given the amount of excess Sculk that just lays around. Also, seems to be like a limited number of 6 things that can be spawned on top of the Sculk for some reason before it just stops spawning more for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what that's about, but yeah, there's a lot of just Sculk bubbling around here that's currently not being used. Anyhow, if we go over to the storage... Oh yeah, I added a beacon so I didn't die of hunger. Now, going over to the storage here, we can see we've actually gotten a bunch of Sculk sensors, which I am now going to be transporting back to the storage system. And that's a little bit scary of a drop right there. Alright, there we go. Whole double chest of Sculk sensors, which were probably never used. And we also, therefore, have completed this episode. So, with that, I am going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which is linked in the description. And I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Bye!